Welcome everyone to our 202nd day of Modern Ohms Cushion Crawl. As I just said, it's raining in Miami right now and sunny as well. So super beautiful here. I know many of us today are going to be from Miami, so it's just another late, or actually it's middle of October Saturday here. So today is a particularly cool session for a few reasons. One is that it is October 10th, and the past 2 years in Miami, we have partnered with another local group called Stay Fit 305. That is a health and wellness blog, community, and event company. And we've collabed on an event for World Mental Health Day. So we've always done this in person, but given current circumstances, we decided to just roll that into our cushion crawl this morning. So in a moment, I'll present Andrew from Stay Fit to just chat a little bit. For those of you that are new to this community and to this format, we have an ongoing journey called the Cushion Crawl, which you're on now, which is basically every single day we have a different teacher, a different facilitator, a different expert lead a session on a practice, a technique, having to do with going inward. Getting to know ourselves better. And really, it's about being the best and highest version of ourselves. On Saturdays, we do something around embodiment, about being in the body. So today's program is around that, and Devon will be sharing in a moment. So everyone, just want to introduce you super quick to Andrew from Stay Fit. He'll say a few words before he hands it over to Devon.
Thanks, Mike. Really excited to be here. As Mike mentioned, my name is Andrew with Stay Fit 305. We are a local health and wellness site here in South Florida dedicated to all things fitness. Go to stayfit305.com to discover what's happening in your neighborhood. And we also produce events. Obviously, given the current circumstances, we really produce virtual events at the moment, but we're going to be kicking back our physical events as soon as it's safe again. And we welcome you all to join, and you can always learn about all of the different events we have going on at stayfit305.com. As Mike mentioned, today's World Mental Health Day, and this is one of the events we've really produced together in collaboration over the past couple of years, and it's typically in person. But we're just so thankful for allowing us to get together today and just join and really take time to reflect on our mental health. It's really important. And we have a great meditation leader today, Devon. So let's kick it over to him and everyone enjoy the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having me, Modern Home and Stay Fit 305. So, what I coach and teach is something called Alchemy Breathwork. It's a mix of Chinese Bigu mixed with some of Nikola Tesla's teachings, a little bit of pranayama, and integrating sacred geometry. This particular type of breathwork, especially with threes, you can utilize whenever you work out in between sets. So today we're going to do 369 match breathing. And how it goes is the main locks is you want to have your eyes gazing towards your third eye, creating a nice pressure point, tongue on the roof of the mouth. And every exhale, I want you to squeeze your perineum, or literally everything you go to the bathroom with. Squeeze that. That's a nice, powerful energy force shooting up the spine. Now, in terms of mental health, your inspiration, the inhale is the inspiration for the thought. And when you regulate your breathing and you take more alkaline breaths, you have more of an alkaline environment, an alkaline projection of yourself and how you deal with others and your inner reality. And this type of breath work is more of an inner body experience rather than an outer body experience. So the main locks this whole entire time, I want you to have your eyes gazing towards your third eye again. This is your tongue. You're going to curl it to the roof of your mouth. And every exhale that we do, I want you to squeeze your perineum. When we get to the holds, which I will explain soon, you want to hold that squeeze as well. So the patterns that we're going to be using is 3, 6, and 9. So with threes, in terms of the inhale, you're going to be taking partial breaths, which is, and the exhale is, you really want to be breathing with your diaphragm. This is only nose only. So the benefits of only breathing with the nose is pure nitric oxide buildup, which is great for healing, especially when working out. In Croatia, they're doing a study with my type of breath work where they found their heart rate to go at the lowest it's ever been on anyone that is quote unquote athletic in their history in terms of running, jogging, walking. This is a nice breath work to do in terms of a continuous breath. But in this particular session, we're going to be doing some holds. So we're going to be doing 3, 6, 9 match breathing. And what I mean by match breathing is you're matching the frequency that you're utilizing in the number. So with threes, it's going to be threes. And whenever you're doing this by yourself, you can use the pads of your fingers to count. So with threes, it's exhale 3, and then that'll be one breath, and then second breath, and then exhale 3, and inhale 3, and exhale 3, and then you're gonna hold it. You're gonna hold the exhale completely empty, squeeze your perineum, and then after 3, we're gonna go to 6. 6 is 6 inhales, and then you exhale 6, and we're gonna do that 6 times. I'm gonna tell you when to hold, but if you are counting along, you can use the pads of your fingers to count. And then after 6, after that 6 inhale, and that 6 exhale hold, you're going to go straight into 9. And 9 is, and then you exhale 9. You're gonna do that 9 times, and then on the 9th exhale, you're going to hold. And then after that, we're gonna do another loop of 3, 6, 9, and then another loop of 3, 6, 9. And then after the final loop, you're just gonna regulate your breathing where you're only breathing with the nose continuously. You still have all the locks in place in terms of the eyes, the tongue, and you're squeezing every time you exhale. But you wanna be breathing where it's nice and silent, where you can't hear the breath, and just witness of whatever your body is feeling. We're gonna start off with threes. So you wanna have your eyes gazing, tongue on the roof of the mouth. You can do this sitting up. You can do this laying down. It's perfectly fine. Eyes gazing, tongue on the roof of the mouth. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hold the exhale. 6. Hold the exhale. 9. Hold the exhale. 3. Hold the exhale. 6. Hold the exhale. 9. Hold the exhale. 3. Hold the exhale. Six. Hold the exhale. Nine. Hold the exhale. Three. Hold the exhale. Six. Hold the exhale. Nine. Fully exhale. Three. Six. Fully exhale. Nine. Fully exhale. Three. Six. Fully exhale. 9. Fully exhale as long as possible. And whenever you're ready to inhale, regulate your breathing silently. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Only with the nose where you can't hear the breath. Really expand your diaphragm, deflate your diaphragm on the exhale. Squeeze that pelvic floor only on the exhale. Eyes still gazing, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Try holding a smile as well if you can. you all for sharing the breath.
Thank you, Devon. I have some questions. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, for sure.
So, how do you use this in activity? How does
Right.
it work? Like, so working out, just tell us more about that.
Yeah. So even on YouTube, I have a guided running breath work where everyone can tune into Devon Airbender on YouTube, on Instagram, the Black Airbender. And while you're running, you can literally do the threes. Runners, marathon runners, when I work with them, it's mainly threes and different intervals of threes. But the basic one everyone can do is inhale three, exhale three, continuously while you're running. You can even do this while walking. It's a great exercise to do while walking as well, or jogging and running. In between workouts or while you're working out, depending on how extraneous the workout is, it's a great way to flood the body with even more nitric oxide, which only the nose can produce and not the mouth. So I notice people last a lot longer when they utilize threes while jogging and running. And there are certain tribes around the world that scientists have looked at, and they can run up to like 30 miles without getting tired, and they only breathe with their nose. So this is a great exercise to get in the habit of utilizing the nose and uh, really getting more fit in that aspect, that mental aspect as well. And you won't get tired as easily as you would have, definitely utilizing threes. Also, you can utilize six as well. Nine is more for like tennis and different types of sports, but three and six especially is great for running and jogging.
And you don't mix them in sports. So you would just do the threes or you would just do the sixes, right? You don't oscillate between your different durations.
Yeah, so threes, you can literally inhale three, exhale three, and then go straight to six, and then go back to three while running and jogging. That's one way of doing it. For sport wise, tennis is great for nine. Uh, six is great for basketball. Uh, uh, Calisthenics, three and six, especially for calisthenics. And we don't have much time to get into it, but there's different breathing techniques, especially when you're working out the dumbbells and things of that nature. But threes, especially, and six is really good for exercising, working out in many sports that involve running. Nine, especially, is great for tennis, and it's a very different dynamic with nine. Nine gets you into a certain headspace because tennis in a way, has a lag to it in terms of when you receive the ball, and it helps you get into like a flow state with nine.
Interesting. And how long is that do you hold out for? I couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. So it in alchemy we don't utilize in terms of like inhale for four, exhale for four, inhale for five, exhale for five. We don't utilize time. That's like additive stress in 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 that ideology. Um, you go based on however you feel, and that's why it's really important to squeeze the perineum, because the more you do that, if many of you have realized, the more you squeeze your pelvic floor while you exhale, the deeper you could squeeze, going the next loop and the next loop and the next loop. And when you squeeze, by the time you're ready to inhale, the quality of breath is better and more, it can be used more efficiently, because when you're completely empty, that's 100% you. When you hold the breath, the body has to say, what am I going to do with this oxygen that I'm holding? When you're exhaling and you exhale, that's completely you. And if you notice, you kind of salivate even more. And with this type of breath work, we find to build more carbon in the body, and the saliva is definitely proof of that in terms of bicarbonate found in the saliva. So when you do that, you're also, especially with the tongue on the roof of the mouth, you're also stretching out the heart muscle as well. And you last a lot longer in exercise. You last a lot longer in many different sports that involve running, utilizing three and six.
Great. And what about when you hold the exhale, right? You exhale and you hold. How long is that hold?
Yeah. So whenever you're doing this by yourself, it's holding as long as you're comfortable with. There's two ways of utilizing that, and when I facilitate, I hold it for a lot shorter because doesn't, not everyone can hold it for that long. But whenever you're doing it by yourself, hold as long as you can, as long as you want, as long as you're comfortable with. Second is there's another way of doing it, which is whenever you feel some internal movement in the body, that's a great time to just switch, because what's happening is it's part of it's a subconscious release within the body, and you're literally attaching, it's like an energy cord, like a train. You're literally attaching another train to whatever is releasing, whether you fart, burp, whatever it is, yawn during the breath work. That's a great time to just latch onto the next sequence. So those are two ways of doing it: holding as long as you're comfortable with, or second, um, reacting to whatever the body is doing internally, however you feel. Like, let's say you feel a twitch in your hand, that's a great time to just switch sequence, because this also builds emotional intelligence as well, and body awareness. So that's also great for athletes.
Oh, wow. So you're saying that you would hold an exhale until maybe you have some sort of a physiological movement. And when you're some physiological motion, right? Stimulation, and then you would move on to the next. That's really interesting, actually.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds like a really novel thing that I haven't heard. That's cool. All right, and a couple of questions from the community. So
Okay.
you already answered, but Seema's question is, how does this breath affect the body?
So this breath, you might notice it's not, uh, so this breath work compared to mouth, breath work you utilize the mouth, many of you may have noticed you get like a little bit of a spike and then a little bit of a drawdown afterwards. This breath work, you kind of feel like a ripple effect. And that's because, the main organ was made for breathing is the nose. So you're building more nitric oxide in the body as well. You're not losing moisture. So this is great for people who are going into fasting, who do intermittent fasting. A lot of athletes are now doing that. Um, you're not losing that much moisture. You're building up more carbon in the body, more CO2 tolerance. Especially, I love working with hikers, people who hike the mountain. The more they do this breath work, the less they need to bring the oxygen tank, because this type of breath work, you're utilizing oxygen more efficiently, because carbon is the main component to deliver oxygen in the body. And when you emphasize on the exhales, you're building up more carbon in the body, not carbon dioxide, but actually the carbon molecules in the body. Again, you'll start to notice you start to salivate even more. Uh, Bicarbonate is found in saliva, and you might notice the taste in your saliva might change a little bit differently when you swallow it. And that's also proof that hormones is also being stimulated in the saliva, which is great for digestion, energy boost in terms of enzymes. When you're inhaling, it hits the pituitary gland, sends a signal down to a gland behind the thyroid that till this day scientists don't even know what it's for. But when this gland gets stimulated and you're stretching the tongue, it pushes enzymes into the tongue, and that's what you're going to taste a different taste as well in the saliva, and that's really good for uh, healing in that aspect as well too. And uh, this type of breath work is really good for, before you go to sleep. People is who have chronic mouth breathing to sleep. Um, you'll fall into a deeper sleep doing this to sleep, because you're also training the body into the subconscious realm of sleep to only utilize your nose to sleep. So this is a great alternative to mouth taping. Mouth taping is also a great thing you can do, but this is a great way to just train your body to the point where you don't even need to mouth tape anymore, because we barely utilize the nose in this manner anyway. We eat, we drink, we stimulate the mouth so much, And in this type of breath work, we don't hold the breath because in life we hold on to so many things already. So this really builds up willpower and letting go. And that's what's really different.
Wow, great. And I'll ask one more question here is how long, what's the minimum amount of time roughly you would recommend if somebody wanted to practice this type of breathing?
So this is a nice part of it. So you can do let's say 30 minutes starting out the day, and then you can stick with inhale 3, exhale 3 randomly throughout the day. This type of breath work is utilized to integrate in your everyday life where breath work doesn't feel mundane and boring. So let's say you did this breath work for the day and you say, all right, I'm going to stick with 6 today. So you randomly throughout the day inhale 6, exhale 6, and then go on throughout your day. And it's a nice way to build up neuroplasticity in terms of connecting what you did earlier to that sequence of breath.
Oh, wow.
So
So
yeah, and then the next day you can say, all right, I'll just stick with 9, and the next day I'll stick with 3, and then literally play around with it, and you'll feel that every day is a little bit different in that aspect of awareness.
I think that's really cool. So coming back to this topic of mental health and just being calm and resiliency and just being kind of ready to take on whatever this crazy wacky life throws in front of us. I've over the years also learned to use breath in during throughout the day, not as like a practice, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or anything, but simply even like a box breath of like inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and doing it like 3 times has been really useful because it changes your physiological state. So this is kind of cool too, because you can just what I hear Devon saying is you can actually just you're in the office, you're having a conversation. It doesn't have to be stressful, but I suppose in those moments especially, and you can use this breath, any breath really, but this breath can be used to kind of recalibrate. And it doesn't have to be for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes. You could just do a round, right? Or a couple of rounds, and that should be enough to create a state break and kind of bring you back into yourself. And therefore, this is really, I don't know if you guys have done it, but it is so beneficial to have a few of these tools at your disposal to simply know that if you put a little attention on your breath, even for 10 seconds, even for 30 seconds, and you do a breath practice or breath technique, at the end of it, you will shift. You will shift your state. So, great. Andrew, do you have any final message or anything final to say?
No, I just, thanks for letting us join today, and, looking forward to joining other cushion crawl events. And if you're interested in learning more about Stayfit 305 and what we're up to and some of our future events, just go over to stayfit305.com, and hopefully we get to see everyone.
Great, thank you. I just really want to say everyone that from the Stayfit community that showed up, welcome. This is Modern Om. We do these every single morning. Different technique, different wisdom, different lesson from teachers from all over the world. Many of the world's top teachers are now a part of this faculty community that we've got, and this is the 202nd day of our program, and we started during COVID. And for the OMI community, if you haven't already experienced Stayfit 305, especially if you're in Miami, they're a close partner of ours that really focus on the physical exercise, fitness part of what wellness means. I mean, come on, we're doing primarily mental, spiritual, emotional techniques here with embodiment. Saturdays is our day where we do physical embodiment, but it's pretty light. That's really just to get us into our bodies. But you guys obviously staying healthy, staying fit, on a physical level is totally vital, because we are embodied beings and we got to take care of ourselves. Devon, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And everyone, thank you again for being a part of this, wherever you are. And see you guys in next cushion crawls. And if you're a Stay Fit person, just reach out to us if you want to join more of these. We'll let you know how to do that offline. So have a great day, everyone, and thank you again.